And we're back. Mike Talks, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I got a little bit complacent there for a little while on posting on YouTube. I started focusing more on TikTok. I have been advised that it is best to post on all social medias. I was noticing some success on the first one, and then I just let the second one fall on the wayside. But now we're moving. I got Mike Talks on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, and I will be looking to start posting consistently full videos, shorts, everything from betting breakdowns, conversation pieces, of course, fight clips, video game clips, food reviews, film reviews. That's what we're going to cap it at. Maybe a little bit of humor here and there, but I'm very excited to get back into it. So let me know. Actually, don't let me know. Let me let you know. Like, subscribe, follow, share it with your friends if you got similar interests. And we're going to hop right into it. We got a pretty stacked card for UFC 321. First bout of the night, we got Jacqueline Amarim and Mizuki Inoue. This fight's going to have to be pretty plain and simple for me. Mizuki isn't young, or she's not old for that matter. They're both around the same age, you know what I'm saying? And Mizuki just doesn't fight. 15-6, she's pretty experienced. Jacqueline Amarim is actually pretty fire. She finishes most of her fights. Mizuki, in her own respect, is good in the grappling, but I'm gonna have to go with Jacqueline. She's more active. She just looks better. She's just a better looking fighter not in terms of her looks, but in terms of what she does in the cage. And I actually think sneaky play, Mizuki may or may not have some solid grappling defense in the cage. So let's say Jacqueline Amarim is having trouble getting a submission, but she's controlling dominant position, and then she just finds her way to TKO. Mizuki Inoue shells up and gets punched out, and the ref stops it. And then we get a Jacqueline Amarim TKO. That's a cheeky prediction, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say Jacqueline Amarim inside the distance, but Hail Mary sprinkle, probably going to be like plus 1,000 for Amarim by knockout. So I think that's interesting as well. And then we'll move on. We have a flyweight bout between Azat Maxim and Mitch Raposo. I mean, this one, I've seen people pick at Mitch Raposo. And I want Mitch Raposo to win, but Azat Maxim's pretty good, man. He was dominating Charles Johnson until he wasn't. And that's pretty much how any Charles Johnson fight's going to go. So I don't knock him for that. He fought Tagir Ulanbekov. I actually bet on Tagir. I had Tagir in a parlay for that one. I'm not going to lie to you. I was nervous. When that one ended. I'm like, damn, bro. Tagir might have just lost. And I'm very, very high on Tagir Ulanbekov. He's kind of the underrated guy in the background in the flyweight division, but he is very good. And Azat Maxim looked very good against him. So I don't think Mitch Raposo is going to provide any looks that Azat Maxim has not seen. I don't think there is going to be anywhere that Mitch Raposo is better. I think Azat Maxim is going to be better on the feet, better in the grappling, better in the offensive and defensive wrestling as well. And I'm leaning Azat Maxim to not let it get to the judges this time out. He had a close fight with Tagir Ulanbekov last time, and I think he's going to want to make a statement here. I believe he's 0-2 now in the UFC. I can't remember. I think he's 0-2, so he's going to want to make a statement here. He's getting put in a pretty solid spot against Mitch Raposo to find that finish. So let me get Azat Maxim by knockout here. Yeah, let's fucking go, dude. Azat Maxim by knockout. We might have just cooked right there. Yeah. Let me get that. But inside the distance is going to be safer. Next fight. Hamdi Abdelwahab and Chris Barnett. Heavyweight bout. Peak male form right here. Chris Barnett, 23-9. Hamdi Abdelwahab, 6-1. Don't have much to say about this fight. I just don't. I like Chris Barnett. He's an athletic guy for his size. It's surprising. He does a little flip if he wins, and he dances on the way to the cage, so I like that. Hamdi Abdelwahab is bad. I'm not sure. I think I just want to pick Chris Barnett. I'm pretty sure Chris Barnett's probably going to lose, and it's probably going to be pretty boring and pretty sloppy. But I can always root for the boy, Chris Barnett. I mean, he's a plus 310 underdog. I'm not sure why Hamdi is such a big favorite. Minus 425. That's kind of surprising to me. I'm not sure why. He should win. He is an Olympic wrestler. He should be able to wrestle tire out Chris Barnett, but at the same time, Hamdi doesn't have any cardio either. So this shit's probably I don't even know, dude. I want to, what it's probably going to be realistically. If you're listening to this, realistically, it's probably going to be a boring Hamdi decision. Maybe he comes out there and gets a knockout if Chris Barnett gas is bad enough, or he's prone to injury. So maybe Hamdi Abdelwahab by knockout if it's juicy. I mean, I'm not taking it if it's plus 200, plus 250. If it's something up high in the odds, maybe. Same way with Chris Barnett. So that's what I would do. Play both sides for the knockout, because this fight's probably going to... Actually, don't bet on this fight at all. Do not bet on this fight. Just pray for Chris Barnett that he gets back in the win column because he's more exciting. That's what we're going to do for that. Hamdi Abdelwahab, the head says that. The heart says Barnett. Let's go Chris Barnett via spinning heel kick knockout. And we'll move on. Spent way too much time on that one. Here's a fight that I like. I already posted about this one on the TikTok earlier. Nathaniel Wood is coming in as a plus 125 underdog against Jose Delgado. And Jose Delgado is pretty solid from what we've seen so far. He has devastating power. He is pretty well-rounded. He's a great striker. He's going to be 5'11". As you can see on the screen, we have Nathaniel Wood standing at 5'6". He might even be shorter than that. I'm excited to see what what the height differential is looking like at the weigh-ins. Who's going to be wearing shoes? Who's going to be wearing lifts? We'll get hopefully a better look at the height differential at the weigh-ins. But we only have 5 inches in reach. I know that's still kind of a lot, but for some reason I was thinking it would be worse. The only thing here is, how are we going to give Jose Delgado... Well, to be fair, he's not that wide of a favorite, but it surprises me a little bit that Jose Delgado is sitting at a favorite against Nathaniel Wood, who's a very experienced UFC fighter. Jose Delgado went out against Haider Emil in his last fight, and although Haider Emil was undefeated at the time, I was not that high on him. The only thing Haider Emil has is dog. I mean, he does have some skills too. I'm not disrespecting him. I like Haider Emil, but I wasn't necessarily super high on him going into that fight anyway. And I picked Jose Delgado in that fight, if I'm not mistaken. Goes out there, makes it look easy. Pretty much finishes every fight. If he doesn't get Nathaniel Wood out of there in the first round, I think this fight could look pretty scary for Jose Delgado bettors. So Jose Delgado, I saw people commenting on my TikTok and my YouTube shorts. A lot of people are saying Jose Delgado by knockout, which I do believe is live, and I think it's a real possibility, especially in that first round. But if Nathaniel Wood is able to mitigate the damage, pick and choose when to, enter into his range, mix the martial arts, use wrestling, get inside his range. He's a very fast, very skilled fighter, very well-rounded. So I'm going to pick Nathaniel Wood here very tentatively, not tentatively, apprehensively maybe, because I am nervous that he gets knocked out. He does get hurt. He deals with adversity well, typically. But Jose Delgado could be one of them ones. He's going to have to prove it here against Nathaniel Wood for me to trust him against, in my opinion, high-level prospect in Nathaniel Wood. So let me get the more experienced guy who has the higher-level looks through his UFC career. But that is not without some serious concern. Nathaniel Wood's going to be the guy for me, though. I like him at underdog money. And I just like Nathaniel Wood. It's going to be a scary one. No matter who you're picking, especially if you're picking Nathaniel Wood, it's going to be scary. But let's move on to the next one. Walter Walker and Louis Sutherland, man. Let me rep Louis Sutherland out of Scotland. The only thing is, this might not be the best matchup for him. Walter Walker, pretty big guy for the division. They're going to have similar reach. 3-inch height advantage for Walter Walker. Louis Sutherland is not a small guy. He's going to be weighing heavier. We'll see what happens at the actual weigh-ins, what Walter Walker weighs in, because we've seen him look big and sloppy at the weigh-ins in his debut against Lucas Bresky. But since then, he's trimmed down. He's looked in shape. He's finished 3 fights in a row by submission, all heel hook, and sorry, I got my buddy's daughter just came in and said, Michael. But no, I'm going Walter Walker here, inside the distance, probably first round submission. But that isn't, if we see Louis Sutherland knockout prop, it would be a sprinkle. So like if I say I want to take Walter Walker inside the distance as the play, I could, as a small hedge, take Louis Sutherland by knockout, because if Louis Sutherland is able to stop a couple takedowns and gets Walter Walker to strike with him, I think Sutherland is dangerous. And he's also Scottish. My boy just walked in right when I'm doing this fight. Shoot, that makes me want to pick flip. My buddy, he's from Scotland actually, and He just walked in right as I'm breaking down the Louis Sutherland fight. So we'll get back to that later in the week. Let me see the weigh-ins. Let me see what it looks like. But Sutherland by knockout could be live here. But you got to go with the hot hand. Walter Walker now has 4 fights in the UFC on a 3-fight win streak, all first-round finishes. So we're going to have to go with him to get it done inside the distance one more time for now. Next, we have Abdul Karim Al-Selwadi and Mateus Camilo. This is a tough one, man. And the odds reflect that. It's a pick'em. You know, Camilo is a very, very slight underdog. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. When I first saw this, I was like, ooh, Abdul Karim all the way. But something tells me that Camilo has more to offer than what he showed against Gabe Green. He was doing very well in that fight, and he just got caught. And I picked Gabe Green in that fight too. But here we have a 24-year-old Camilo. Chinny Al-Selwadi. He did get chinned by Logradzabov, who does have some power, I guess. Shoot, I actually don't know who I'm going to go with here. I said I was going to go off vibes for this one. And now I'm sitting here wasting my time, wasting your time. If you're here, by the way, throw a like, throw a subscribe, and throw a comment down and let me know who your favorite picks of the week are. I want to hear everybody's favorite underdog as well. We do have... Ooh, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to say this fight ends inside the distance, though. That's for damn sure. I'm going to tentatively pick Abdul Karim Al-Selwadi for this one, but I'm pretty nervous about it. And later in the week, I'm going to try to drop a favorite bets video later this week, and I might flip that pick to Mateus Camilo. I have to do some thinking, but we're going to right now go for Abdul Karim Al-Selwadi to get it done. I didn't even really have anything to say for that one. That's a tough one, man. And then we have Ludovic Klein and Mateusz Rebecki. Lightweight bout. 2 savages, Slovakia and Poland. Mateusz Rebecki is going to be coming in as a plus 125 underdog. Same height. Mateusz Rebecki's giving up some reach. The thing about Rebecki, he's a dog, but he is very susceptible to external damage on the face. So if Ludovic Klein, I don't even know how many shots it's going to take. Ludovic Klein lands 4 or 5 hard shots, straight jabs, whatever. We could see Rebecki look like he's been bludgeoned. So in the eyes of the judges, that could potentially, sway rounds. Like Rebecki could be doing good work. Just like against Chris Duncan, Rebecki's doing good work, and then he gets leaked. His eye gets shut. We've seen his eyes get shut almost every fight that he's in. And they're both strong. They're both decent wrestlers. I'm going to go Ludovic Klein. I got to take Ludovic Klein here. I faded Rebecki against Chris Duncan in his last fight for different reasons than this, but I just think Ludovic Klein can stay safe enough, not get finished, and potentially create a lot of damage on the face of Rebecki, and that will change the fight in the eyes of the judges. So I got to go with that. I got to go with Ludovic Klein to do more damage in terms of cosmetics than Mateusz Rebecki is going to do to Ludovic. And I think that's going to reflect on the scorecards, probably a 29-28 decision. I don't see either guy getting finished here. It should be a banger of a fight, though. So let me get Ludovic Klein at minus 150. I think there's a solid bit of value there. And even if you're on the Rebecki side, plus 125, he's a great underdog. And then next we got Ikram Aliskerov versus Jin Young Park, the Iron Turtle. You know I want to pick the Iron Turtle here. I just can't do it. He's going to be the older guy. He's taken some damage at this point. So is Ikram. Ikram's been knocked out notably 2 times in both of his losses. Vicious uppercut from Hamzat Chimaev quite some time ago. And then on short notice against Robert Whittaker, which you can't really knock him for either of those. He got 2 good guys on 2 really good days. So I'm going to go with Ikram Aliskerov here. I think that he's going to have success in the wrestling department if he needs to. Jun Young Park might be getting boxed up on the feet and try to resort to wrestling himself, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to get that off. Jun Young Park usually does well with his wrestling and his control from top position, but against a guy like Ikram Aliskerov, Sambo guy, good striking, good wrestling, good grappling, I don't think Jun Young Park is going to be better anywhere here. So I have to go with Ikram Aliskerov just based off that. I think he's better everywhere, and I think he's live to find a finish here against Jun Young Park. Probably... ground and pound TKO maybe. It's hard to say, but if I'm going with anything, I'm going inside the distance. He's only a minus 260 favorite, so that leads me to believe inside the distance could be even money or maybe even a tiny, tiny little bit of plus money. But I could still see a world where inside the distance is minus 150. And honestly, I think there's still value there. So let me get Ikram Aliskerov to win inside the distance against a tough and game Jun Young Park. Next, we got lightweight bout between Nasrat Haqparast and Quillen Saw Killed. So I was seeing that Nasrat was actually an underdog. On ESPN here, it's saying Nasrat is a minus 120 favorite. Quillen Saw Killed at a very even underdog. So Quillen's going to have the reach and height advantage here. He's also a little bit younger. He's taking some less damage. But Nasrat Haqparast is very, very good, man. For me, what's going to happen, or what I think is going to happen, or what should happen, is that Quillen Saw Killed probably not going to be able to hang very well in the striking department. Nasrat's very fast, and he isn't known for knockouts, but he does have some sneaky pop on some of his shots. And it's because they come fast. Hey, yo. It's because, sometimes when somebody's a little bit fast, you might not see all the shots coming, and that's when you can get damaged by them. So I see Quillen Saw Killed here having some trouble on the feet, and he's going to need to go to his bread and butter, which is going to be the grappling. If Quillen Saw Killed is able to get the grappling off, I think he wins this fight. I think he could potentially find a submission or a control-based 29-28 decision after dropping the first round. I'm going to go with Quillen Saw Killed here. I think I may be feeling pretty dumb after this, but I really need to see the odds. If Nasrat Haqparast is an underdog, how can you not take him? But I do think Quillen Saw Killed has a path to victory here, and that's going to be through the grappling. So based off of original lean, when I saw this matchup, I thought, oh, Quillen Saw Killed could take this. Nasrat Haqparast has gotten away with some pretty close decisions as well, though. So if this is a close fight that makes it to the scorecards, I would not be surprised, even if I scored it for Quillen, that it goes to Haqparast. But tentatively, I'm going to go with Quillen Saw Killed, grappling-based decision or submission. But if money keeps coming in on Saw Killed and Nasrat Haqparast balloons up to a little bit bigger of an underdog, that could be the play there, just because there's value on it. Nasrat Haqparast knows how to win a decision, and he has some pretty solid striking, and he's well-rounded in his own respect as well. So give me Quillen, but we'll see what happens. Next, we got Alexander Rakic and Azamat Mirzakhanov at light heavyweight. This is actually an absolute banger, dude. The lines are very close. Rakic is on a 3-fight win streak. I don't think that is a reflection of where he stands in this division. I've always been high on Alex Rakic. I think he is a very, very talented fighter. He's going to have a big advantage in the height and the reach. Give me Alex Rakic, man. Azamat Mirzakhanov, he's good and he's dangerous, but this is a big step up for him. Yeah, I like this one. I like Rakic a lot. He's, I don't know what the odds are right now, but as of this page on ESPN, he's a minus 105 dog. He's going to have decent bit of range in the reach and the height. I know Azamat Mirzakhanov is an explosive, talented, dangerous striker, but I think Alex Rakic knows how to use his distance very well. He's good with his distance management. He can mix the martial arts. Azamat typically just likes to strike, and I think if Rakic can pepper him on the outside, throw some high kicks, use straights to keep Azamat outside of the range he wants to be in, this could be a long night for Azamat. So I'm going to go with Rakic. No way my boy Alex Rakic is going on a 4-fight losing streak here. I just don't see it. I think he's going to get back in the win column, and he can start to stake his claim, climb back up the rankings, and potentially get a title shot at some point. It hurts, man. He was beating Yuri until he wasn't, dude. That elbow landed flush to Yuri's face. He just ate it and overwhelmed him in the second round. I like Rakic. I think he's well-rounded. I think he's the better fighter here. I think he's going to get it done as an underdog. So I'm going with Rakic, and I feel pretty confident in that pick. So yeah, let me get Alex Rakic. I don't know about method yet. I have to look at the odds, but money line is valuable enough. And next we got Alexander Volkov against Jailton Almeida in what I believe is the co-main event. No, it is not. It is the featured bout of the evening. I want to pick Alex Volkov here. They did him wrong. Cyril Gane, Alex Volkov fought, and Alex Volkov gets robbed. Dana White tells him, we're going to make this right. Cyril Gane gets gifted a title shot against Tom Aspinall. And then they say, Alex, we're going to make this right. You're going to fight the most tenacious grappler in the division, Jailton Almeida. That's how we're going to make it right to you, Alex. And I think that's messed up. So that means I'm rooting for Alex. I was going to be rooting for him regardless of whether or not that happened in this matchup. You know, he's going to have the height advantage. The only thing is, can he stop the takedowns? Can he outlast the cardio of Jailton Almeida? I don't think he's going to be able to do it, man. I think Jailton's going to get him down, and I think he's going to be in a world of trouble there. I want to pick Alex Volkov, and I could possibly take a dog shot on him by knockout because Jailton Almeida, if he gets stuck on the feet, is going to be in a world of trouble. But I just have a feeling he's going to be able to dictate the pace of the fight, and I think the pace of the fight is going to be on the ground, where Jailton Almeida is very, very good. So I don't think he's going to TKO him. If anything, I see Alexander Volkov potentially getting subbed here or controlled to a decision. Boring fight. You know, we've seen it before. I don't want to knock Jailton Almeida because he has been electrifying in the past, and he does have a high finishing rate as well. Alex Volkov is no slouch, though. So for now, let me get Jailton Almeida just because I think the grappling differential is going to be big here. But Alex is live. As a 2-1 underdog, Volkov is live. Next, we got Umar. Oh, no, we still got more fights. Damn, we got Umar Nurmagomedov and Mario Batista. Umar Nurmagomedov, minus 700 favorite. That makes no sense to me. Mario Batista is coming in as a big underdog. He has 2 losses on his career. And I can't help but to think Mario Batista is live. You know, he's a great striker. Yeah, great. He's a serviceable striker. He's fast. He has great cardio. He can wrestle. He has good defensive wrestling as well. Umar Nurmagomedov is going to have to be the pick. I think it's going to be a decision. Even if I score the fight, 29-28 for Mario, there's no way he's winning it on the scorecards. And I think he knows that as well. Mario said he's going to look for a first-round finish. He's not really known as a finisher. And Umar Nurmagomedov is very good. He's very well-rounded. He has powerful striking. And, of course, we know his grappling is second to none. So I'm going to have Umar Nurmagomedov to, just do the better work over 15 minutes and find a 30-27, 30-27, 29-28 to cook the spread decision for Umar Nurmagomedov here. I think he's going to be too good, but the odds do not reflect the probability that I think he has to win this fight. I wouldn't bet on him unless you're looking to get him inside the distance, potentially by knockout. We've seen Mario Batista knocked out before, but Umar Nurmagomedov is the pick. And then we will move on to the vacant title fight. Strawweight, Mackenzie Dern, Verna Jandiroba 2. Verna Jandiroba is coming in as an underdog. She has been in form lately, though. She has been in form. But what we typically see from Mackenzie Dern, she loses fights where she's outmatched in the striking department and can't use her wrestling. Mackenzie Dern has great grappling, but her offensive wrestling is not always enough to get the fight where she wants it. So if she's losing the striking exchanges and she can't wrestle her opponent to the ground, she can't use her grappling. However, Verna Jandiroba here, her bread and butter is in the grappling as well. So basically, who do I think is the better striker here? It's hard to say. Both of them throw heavy. I can see Verna doing what she does. Maybe Verna's going to want to keep it on the feet. I doubt she's going to want to do that. And if she takes Mackenzie Dern onto the ground, she's now entering Mackenzie Dern's world. And I think Dern could be the better grappler here. It's hard to say because Verna has very good top control. She's very strong. She's in form right now. She has looked pretty unstoppable in recent fights. And I got to say, I want to pick Verna Jandiroba here, but they fought 5 years ago. It's a much different fight back then. They both improved a lot. Does Mackenzie Dern become a champion this weekend? I want to say yes, but based on recent form, Verna Jandiroba seems like a pretty solid pick as an underdog here. I know the UFC wants Mackenzie Dern to win. That is for damn sure. So if we go to a close decision, for the business aspect of it, they want the pretty Mackenzie Dern. They're going to want to market her. She might be a little bit more marketable than Verna Jandiroba, I got to say. But my heart's telling me Verna Jandiroba is going to win this fight. So, man, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with Verna Jandiroba here. I think she's just in better form as of late. We've seen some significant improvements in her game. Mackenzie Dern looks good given certain matchups, but sometimes it's just not enough. Her wrestling still isn't great. Her striking is still pretty one-dimensional. She throws heavy, but she doesn't really mix it up too much. And I think she could find herself in some trouble here, potentially even losing the fight in the stand-up department as well. So let me get Verna Jandiroba for now. If I drop another video this week, there's a chance I flip it, but I think Verna at underdog odds is pretty solid. It's pretty hard to pass up based on how she's looked recently and the improvements that we've seen her make. And then we have the main event of the evening, Cyril Gane, Tom Aspinall. I think this fight is closer than the odds suggest. Tom Aspinall sitting as a 4-1 favorite and Cyril Gane at plus 300. Cyril Gane's a good striker, man. You know, in the striking, I think the fight is close. Sergey Pavlovich, you know, as we've seen, has not been the best. Tom Aspinall lit him up. He lit up Curtis Blades. He lit up everybody he's fought. He does not have a lot of fight time. He has a lot of fights, not a lot of fight time. And I want to see what happens if Cyril Gane's able to survive. So what happens if it goes into round 3 or round 4? I still lean Tom Aspinall here. I think he could probably get it done by submission. If I'm looking at the most realistic path to victory for Tom Aspinall, it's going to be either a club and sub or he deals with a little bit of, okay, all right, Cyril Gane's pretty decent in the striking here. I'm going to just take him down and do whatever I want. And unless Cyril Gane has made some very serious improvements in his wrestling defense, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think it's going to be within the first 2 rounds, and I think Tom Aspinall is going to get it done by submission. I'll take Tom Aspinall by submission because I don't think Cyril Gane's defense against the grappling is going to be good enough where he feels the need to start laying down some heinous ground and pound. I think there will be an opening, and Tom Aspinall is going to find it. So we're going to have Tom Aspinall with his first title defense as the unified heavyweight champion. And then we got to see what's next for him. You know, what's next for Tom Aspinall? Is it going to be the July 4th card in the White House against John Jones? Probably not. Is it going to be a super fight with Alex Pereira after his recent win over Magomed Ankalaev? More likely. Or is it going to be the winner of Jailton Almeida and Alexander Volkov? If it's Jailton Almeida, I can see a real claim for that. It's new blood. He's already fought Alexander Volkov. But it's going to be a pretty fun card, man. It starts at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Main card at 2 p.m. I'm going to go over Thursday or Friday, dropping, you know, the best bets, props that stand out, parlays, all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to get back into the swing of things. Try to get consistent again. You know, as you can see, I got a little mess in my room, but we're trying to get consistent. We're talking TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and we're looking to drop consistently shorts, full-length videos, conversation pieces, betting predictions, food reviews, film reviews, video game clips, fight clips, all that good stuff. If you're here, throw a like down, throw a subscribe. I'm going to be back soon. We're getting consistent again. I know it. And it's going to be a fun card this weekend, so make sure you always do your own research, bet responsibly, and most importantly, enjoy the fights. Let's go.